All right, you guys, I am going to kick things off and happy March. I feel like it's like March Madness. Everybody's getting excited for spring, and I totally was last week because we had like sunshine here in Seattle, and now it's back to like cold and damp. But I love March because I know that that means that we're getting closer and closer to spring, and the cherry blossoms are out here around the neighborhood, and I love, love, love them. It's like my favorite thing to look at. So I wanted to share with you guys about the kickoff. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to answer any questions that you guys have. I know it is a funky time of the day, and a lot of people are working or driving home. We're all spread across different time zones, so trying to get a call time that's suitable for everybody is like next to impossible. So that being said, welcome to our March kickoff for the Eating for Energy group. You guys, I love, 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 love having you guys a part of this, and I'm honored that you guys trust me to want to do this with me. This is like my pride and joy. This is something that I've been working on for years based on research, different nutrition programs and strategies that I've gone through personally. Also recognizing what works for my clients that have had success. And one of them is going to share today. So I'll make sure to leave time because I know I really want Amy to share what her experience has been, because she has been a longtime member working through this program and following the protocol for quite some time, and has had really great results from it. So here's what I want to cover, because I want to give you guys the nuggets. I want to open it up for questions, and I'll talk about frequently asked questions as well if there aren't any. So I know we'll have some stragglers that are going to come on. So I want to talk about what you can expect in the next 4 weeks. All right. Also best practices, like how to truly leverage this program, this 4 weeks together at a minimum. And my goal, you guys, and I'll say it from the get-go, is that I hope you become a lifer. I really want you to see this being a valuable tool that you know that you want to be a part of, because it's helping really reshape the way you think about food and nutrition and your mindset around it, and also learning truly about your body. Okay, so this is, goes beyond 4 weeks, but 4 weeks is really kind of like the deep dive and really truly trying to get to the root cause of a lot of your inflammation issues, challenges with weight loss and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to talk about do's and don'ts, and then I'm going to have one of my clients share some of her results, and then open it up for questions. So if that sounds good, I am going to get started and kind of run all through what you can expect for the 4 weeks. All right. So some of you guys have already been receiving the energy prep email. So you're going to get an email every single day from me for the next 4 weeks. And it is just geared to be a tool and a resource for you to continue to go back and review, because it could be a lot of information. It really can. I've also included all of the information in our private group in a units section. So if you're just exploring the group, take some time, go through the units in order. Do not jump ahead, you guys, because you'll get confused. Everything is designed to kind of build upon one another. This week, it's all about just kind of getting your mindset ready, starting to purge and kind of get the crap cleared out. Anytime you've started a nutrition program or anything, you know that there's a little bit of preparatory work that goes into it. And this isn't any different, right? But we're starting to kind of shape and mold the mindset that needs to follow suit with it in order for you to be set up for success. And also, I really try and finesse the mindset to understand that this is not just a 4-week plan, get you massive results, and then you bounce. That's why I want some clients that have been doing this long time. I call them my maintenance members or my lifers, to share why this has really worked for them, and what it is about this that's different maybe than other things. Okay, I'm just gonna hit the mute on. There you guys go. Sorry, just to kind of minimize the distraction. Then I'll open it up. Okay. So you're going to get an email every single day, starting with this week we call it the energy prep week. All right. And that's just everything you need to know. You're going to get info on some tools that I'm going to suggest. You're going to get information on how to start meal planning and prepping. Some of you guys are opting to start with our 3-day refresh, which is the plant-based reset system. And that is phase 1 for some of you going through this program. All right. So hear me out, because I just want to make sure that this is applicable to everybody. Some people are doing just the food reset. So that's going to start on Friday, whether you're starting the refresh or you're starting the food reboot. Everything starts on Friday. That's why we have these couple of days to get ourselves acclimated. Okay. And so those of you that are starting the refresh on Friday, that's your phase 1. So the first 3 days is phase 1. The second 3 days is phase 2, and that's that food reboot phase, which some people are opting to start on Friday, and that's their phase 1. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If not, I've been talking with a lot of you guys offline, so I do hope that this makes sense. So these 2 phases are specifically designed to make sure that you can kind of, the food reset or the 3-day refresh is really just to kind of clean out the junk, the cobwebs, if you will, and just start to get your system ready to accept all the nutrients that are going to come through all the food that you're going to be consuming. They're really healthy food, but it's a great way just to get out any inflammation, reduce any water retention and bloat that might be hanging around. And you're also going to experience that as you go into phase 2 with the reboot phase as well. Okay. And those starting on the reboot phase, that is just the 3 days of that food reset. You're going to experience that as well. And you're experiencing all through food. The first 2 days are plant-based. So those doing the refresh, you have 5 full days of plant-based related foods. You guys are going to be pleasantly surprised at how much food you're consuming. I think the number one fear is that people are going to feel deprived, they're going to feel hungry or hangry. And I've never had that experience personally, and I haven't had any clients that said, you know what, Taryn, I'm absolutely starving. They actually are pleasantly surprised how full and satiated and just satisfied they are. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that maybe you're ready, you really want to kind of embrace the process and recognize that this is going to be an experience. So I really, truly want you guys to accept it as that it's an experience and that you are your own science experiment, okay? Because I can't give you like the holy grail of all eating plans and tell you you're going to have the most amazing results, because maybe you would, right? Maybe you would right out of the gates, and then maybe all of a sudden it would just start, giving you massive diarrhea. I don't know, like something that is just, not expected. Or you might start seeing the scale go up based on a plan that I could put in front of you, right? We're all designed differently and wired differently. We have all different fabrics of DNA woven throughout our bodies, and that's what makes us all so unique, right? We were all raised differently. We all have different cultures and upbringings and relationships with food. We have different allergies. We have different interests and lifestyles. Like all those things have to come into play, right? Some people don't want to have animal proteins, and that's why we have an option for those that are more plant-based or vegetarian-like. Okay, so you're going to learn that whole methodology and that strategy as you get into phase 3. And phase 3 is that testing phase, which is really the bulk of the program and the time together, you guys, in this 4-week game plan together, okay? Because it really does take some time to start to figure out what foods truly work with you. And a couple things that you're going to recognize as whether or not these foods work is if you see weight loss or weight gain. Maybe you start like getting scratchy or itchy, or maybe you start feeling it in your stomach right away. Maybe you just have like, major like slump in the middle of the day, and just like your energy just is depleted like that. Maybe you're energized. Maybe you sleep amazing. Maybe your sleep is awful, right? So I have a checklist as a tool to be able to give you guidance to recognize, hey, you know what? That food actually really worked. And I do talk about, mostly, you're going to know when you step on the scale the next day. So yes, we talk about weight. We talk about the scale and being a tool only to collect information. Okay, this is an information collecting 4 weeks together, because you're going to write and learn so much about yourself. And speaking of writing, I want you guys to be sure that you're documenting the food that you're eating and the results that you see of eating that day of food. Okay, so I encourage you to recognize what your starting weight is that morning, and you'll get all this information in your emails and in the units, you guys. And at the end of the day, like take 5 minutes and just assess on how you feel. I talk about a morning routine and a wind down routine. And I have a little mindset mastery worksheet in your Google Drive. Everyone's going to get access to our private Google Drive. And I really, really please ask if you guys to keep this stuff to yourselves, because this is information that I've really worked hard on providing for you guys, and it is only offered to the clients that invest into this program and work with me. So I know I just always feel like I have to say that, but if you could just kind of keep it to yourself, I would really appreciate that. I really want you to know that this is open to your friends and family, meaning get them in touch with me. If I can help somebody that is going through a lot of challenges with weight gain or weight loss, or they're just having GI issues, inflammation issues, there's so many different things that you're going to learn about yourself. It's incredible. Okay, so just to kind of recap on what the expectations are, is you're going to learn a lot. You're going to get an email every single day. And I'm going to remind you guys, make sure you create a folder in your inbox that is specific to this program. You can call it whatever you want. I think in the emails, I suggest calling it my food plan, because it's your food plan. You're going to collect a lot of foods that are going to be friendly for you. And you're going to hear me use that word friendly, because they're going to be friendly on your stomach. They're going to be friendly on your waistline. They're going to be friendly with your energy. And those are the foods that you want to start growing a list of and beginning to kind of mix and match with as you prepare your own meal plans. Yes, you're going to get a month worth of meal plans, and the longer that you continue to stay with us with our maintenance membership option, which you'll learn about down the road. Don't worry about that right now. If you guys are all in, you're good. You'll get a 4 weeks of meal plans every month that you continue to hang out with us, learn about yourselves, get new tools. I'm going to do a challenge a month on just something different that is seasonal, just to really encourage you guys to think a little bit more about the intuitive nature that this process has to be. It can't be just you need to eat at 8 o'clock and then you need to finish eating at 7 o'clock and then you're going to eat every 2 hours within that window, and you need to that can't work, right? Because Sam may be able to eat at 8 o'clock, but Anna might not be able to eat until 10. And that's okay, because that's what their bodies need. And that's what you're going to learn about yourself. So don't feel like you're going to have to follow an eating structure, meaning meal times. And I also want to give you guys permission to kind of release any of that scheduling that you've put on yourself, especially if you work full time. I know that we need structure, right? And you should go to work planned and prepared. But maybe encouraging you to get out of that every 2-hour window eating pattern, unless you know you have insulin issues and you need to keep that blood sugar up, then absolutely, you're the only one that's going to know that, right? Unless you share it with me, then of course, I'm going to make sure I can help guide you. And along the way, you're going to have questions. You're going to have question yourself. You're going to have questions for me, and we're going to work all through that together. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. But again, you've got your first 3 days are of that plant-based refresh system. Okay. Second phase is the transitional food reboot plan, which is 3 days. So there's a total of 6, right? That starts on Friday. And again, if you're not using the refresh, you start with a reboot phase, which will be your phase 1. And that lasts for the 3 days. And you go into that testing phase that will take you through the remainder of the program together, and hopefully beyond. Again, I want you guys to stick around and still continue to learn and adapt and share and talk. Okay. Why did I start it on a Friday? Because you're not drinking, right? We're kicking alcohol out just for a little bit. I'm not going to tell you that red wine or anything is off limits, because you're going to have to use that as a testing measure to understand if you are a drinker, if alcohol is an inflammatory like beverage for you, or if it could be friendly for you and you might be able to enjoy it a couple times a week, or you might be able to enjoy a glass every night. I don't know, right? And like dark chocolate, those are my favorites. Glass of wine and dark chocolate. So I'm not one to tell you to cut it out, and I'm certainly not going to tell you to cut out coffee either, unless at least for the first 2 phases. Okay, you do need to really cleanse yourself of any existing toxicity that maybe has been lingering from the amount of caffeine that you've had. It's really good to just reset the system every once in a while. You guys, I do the refresh every season. Our bodies go through adaptive changes with the seasons. We obviously go through different seasons with food. And so it's really good to kind of recalibrate your system every season as well. So I do that personally, and I think it's super healthy to get caffeine out of your system, alcohol out of your system, and of course, sugar and any processed foods. So this is your week, whether you're kind of reconnecting with the whole idea as one of our seasoned members, or maybe this is like your first, this is your prep week, right? Then start thinking about releasing any processed foods right now, because it'll be that much more easier going into the whole process. I don't want this to be like your final week of binging on everything. Like, clean out the pantry, but don't consume everything in that pantry. You will regret it. It'll be so toxic for you. And that relationship that you're establishing that, well, I'm going to binge now because I'm going to go on this strict thing, is always going to be part of your MO when it comes to these types of situations. You know, when you gain and lose weight, it's because we haven't really isolated the root cause. And that's what I'm going to really challenge you guys to think about, is establishing the root cause of this whole thing and why we got to where we got. And most times we peg it back to our childhood, right? And so I really want to encourage you guys to identify markers in your life that you recognize being something from back in your, you know, upbringing, or maybe in a relationship that you had with somebody, or whatever it might be. All right. So I really want you to start thinking that, and that's going to help you when you can document it and recognize, like, oh, I had a really stressful day, and I just wanted to dive headfirst into an entire pie. Well, first of all, where'd the pie come from? Like, who put it in front of you, or why were you in front of it, right? Like, resist temptation, right? You got to have willpower, but you also have to be smart about it. But if you notice that you have these cravings, then generally it's a craving because your body is missing a vital nutrient to ward that craving off, or it's a coping mechanism of some sort that you're used to. And that's what we want to work to get you out of, okay? So best practices, you guys, be completely vulnerable to the process. Just dive in, take all the information, read the material, reread the material, read it again, because it's a lot of information. But I promise you guys, the more you lean into this community, this is an open forum for you guys to feel as if you have ownership in this community. You guys paid to be a part of this, right? So I want you guys to feel like this is your community that you can share, you can talk, you can ask questions. You know, like, we have a lot of really great members that are sharing their meal prepping pictures. They're talking about their results. They're asking questions. They're sharing recipes. And I love that, because it can't just be me talking all the time at you guys. I want you guys to feel like this is where you belong, and what you are, the more you get into it, or the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay, so lean in, ask questions, go back through and search in the search bar of this group to see if there's maybe somebody that's asked a question before that you might be able to get some information. A lot of you guys are researchers, right? So you're gonna be great in here. I mean, it's not rocket science, it's really not. But just really lean in. That's the best way that I can say that you're going to get the most out of this, is really being a part of it and embracing it, right? Do's and don'ts. I don't really have anything like super essential on that. Just, I really want you guys to do the work, implement it into your life, and recognize that this is something that you needed for your life, and that the timing happened to be right and you wanted it, right? Because I can't want it for you more than you do. I can't drag you through it. I can't go grocery shopping for you. I can't even get my Instacart. This is so lame. And Amazon Prime, like, they are not delivering. This is so annoying. So recognizing that maybe some changes have resulted, that we have to kind of work within, you know, within those metrics, right? So don't allow certain changes in your schedule that were unplanned to be an excuse. Don't allow a kid, or a demand at work, or a friend, or a standing meeting with something or someone become an excuse as to why you unraveled everything that you did, right? And that was another reason why I had everything start on a Friday, because I want to get you through your first weekend. I would say, you know what, if you feel like, hey, I feel amazing, and you go through the weekend without alcohol, go through the whole week without alcohol. Go into the next weekend without alcohol. Some people use this as an opportunity to just really kind of clear out anything that they've kind of allowed to resurface that might be a little bit of an easy thing, and just allow it to be released for now. But you get to guide that. It's not you can't drink alcohol the entire time, you can't have anything, like, it's not a restrictive thing. It's a guidance to be able to help you identify the foods that are going to be energy inducing for you versus inflammatory foods that are causing bloat and weight gain and sleeplessness and, you know, a whole host of other things you might be experiencing. Okay. With that being said, I wanted to see if I could beg and grovel with Miss Amy, although she said that she'd be willing to share a little bit about her experience, because she's been with me since November and has had amazing results. So Amy, do you have like a couple minutes that you'd be willing to kind of share your experience and your results so we can brag on you a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm sitting in that. My kids get out of school in like 9 minutes or something like that. So,
Okay.
anyways, yeah, I don't know. Give me some. Where should I start?
Well, how about this? I'll ask you a couple questions.
Other than this works, I know not everybody is trying to do this for weight loss or anything like that, but man, if you are trying to do that, like this works.
And how has it worked for you?
So I have, let's see. Well, I'm 44. I have 3 kids that are 9, 7, and 5. And then I went into menopause at age 40. So my hormones in my body have been through the ringer for the last 10 years. And I just felt like, okay, well, everybody kept telling me I'll bounce back after I have kids. And that was the exact opposite. And I'm fabulous at maintaining my weight, but I could not lose weight. And I felt sluggish and tired. And I mean, I counted macros, I counted calories, I did everything. I did HIIT, I ran miles and miles and do trail races. I did all this stuff and nothing, I lost no weight. And so I was just getting frustrated. And so when you started doing this, you started doing the plan and doing everything, and hearing you do that, I was like, okay, I need to do that. So when you opened up that, I don't know if that was like your first like group, like taking people through it.
The holiday challenge was kind of like a little like, let's test the waters a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So it was just like, yeah, I just committed. I went all in. I mean, you know, I suppose I could like cheat or do a little bit here and there. Like, I don't even want to cheat. Like, I just want to keep going with this because I do feel good. So I am down. I feel like I have to like do the little asterisk on it because, I am down 22 pounds total, but on Saturday night we had a family dinner and, they made lasagna, and I'm not going to be that person that shows up to the family party and is like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't eat that or whatever. And I had lasagna and it was so delicious, and I haven't had pasta in like a few months, and I totally reacted to it. I was up like 2 pounds the next day, and I thought I ate relatively low reactive yesterday, and I was still up today. So I'm just kind of like, apparently I really reacted that. So I'm not bummed. I just know what I need to do. And so I've actually, I was thinking maybe everybody was starting today or something like that. I'm all, hey, I'm right there with you on like that first day with carrot ginger soup and the broccoli and the salad and everything. So yeah, but to be down that much and to just be, you know, feel so much better. And I went out and bought 3 pairs of pants today because I had to, like, they're all falling off of me. So yeah, and my family is noticing, and like different people, like people at church and stuff like that. So it's definitely, and I know that there are people that want to feel better too. So it's, you know, I hope that everybody else, you know, whatever their goal is in doing this, you know, whether it is to lose weight or just to get your energy back, it's fascinating just learning. So can you hear my dog in the back of my car? It's so annoying. Yeah. I gotta start my car. He might be getting hot. Just seeing that it's not a calorie in, calorie out, like a number for number exchange. Like, the food you eat affects so much about yourself. And yeah, my favorite, like, I have a lot of favorite foods where I'm realizing my body doesn't like those, and that's a little sad. But we eat in my family so many more vegetables, and we were like a veggie family. Like, we ate our vegetables, we ate our salad, but we're eating so much more. So it's benefiting the whole family in that.
That's awesome. So, well, and you're now leading by example with your kids, because they're starting to form their relationship with food, right? And so when we're eating one way and they're eating another, we're sending such a warped message to them. So, you know, these are kind of principles and practices that we encourage you guys to think about and, you know, model for your kids, especially if you've got young kids. or even
Yeah.
teenagers. I mean, teenagers can thrive because we're not restricting anything. I'm not telling you to stop eating carbs. I'm not telling you to stop having fun and enjoying life. It's just really trying to find the foods, identify what causes the inflammation, and really what turns your thyroid all wonky, because a lot of the times it is food related, and we can get our thyroid back in check from eating the right foods for our body. Well, I appreciate you, Amy. You have been such a beacon in this whole process, and really an instrumental part in the development and the evolution of it. So I really, really value your vulnerability and your willingness to share. So thank you so much. And you opened it up to your community, and you invited your friend Kristen into this, and she's excited. I know she's not on right now, but I appreciate you being willing to share this to your friends and family too.
Well, thank you so much for the guidance and putting up with my weird random questions. And,
oh my God, they're not weird or random.
But you're such a resource. And thank you for all of the guidance and the meals and the support and everything. So thank you.
You're welcome. We're welcome. I want to get to any questions that you guys have. And if you don't have any, or you want to put it, there's a little chat box. You feel free to type it in, but I'm going to open the lines up for anybody to ask questions here in the next 2 minutes. But what I wanted to finish with saying is that, yes, this is going to be relatively, I would say restrictive, but you're going to have to be intentional right now to get through the process and to start feeling like you are in control and you're getting results, and you're not feeling deprived. Because down the road, like Amy talked about, she went out to a family event, to a function, and had lasagna and hadn't had it in a long time. And those are the things that you guys need to experience, because that's life. And that's where I want you guys to truly see that sometimes those events are going to be worth it. And you just mentally prepare that you might come out of a night out, or a weekend away, and maybe be up a little bit. And it's just because of the reactive nature of that experience that maybe didn't work. Maybe it was the stress you put on yourself about eating off your plan, or non-friendly foods. Stress can be a really big trigger. And so, in a perfect world, be like, okay, we're just going to be super stress-free. Like that just doesn't work. But try to remove the stress over the eating and the cheating and all that kind of stuff, because we're really going to reshape that and say, you're going to treat yourself, and you should treat yourself. But let's start recognizing the foods that are consistently going to deliver results for you, whether it is weight loss, or it's energy focused, or just hormone balance, or whatever. And then, you gotta weave in a couple fun things here and there, so it's enjoyable and you can really truly learn from that experience. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell, you guys. I wanted to make sure if you had questions that I left the lines open. I don't know if anyone has any background noise, and I don't want anyone to be embarrassed if I unmuted, so I'll leave the line muted. But if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, please do so, or again, type it in the chat box, because this is your time to really just make sure you get your questions answered. So fun, but I got to run into Anna yesterday, so I'm really excited. I know she's sitting in a conference room like, don't say anything about me, don't say anything about me, my boss is going to be around. But it was so fun to see her yesterday. Oh, yay, thank you. Amy said, gotta go pick up her kids. Good luck with everyone for starting on Friday. Well, please, you guys, if you've got questions, use me as a resource. Like I tell everyone, like, suck the life out of me and this community in the next 4 weeks, and hopefully beyond. Most of you guys have access to my email or my cell phone number, and I just want you to feel like you have that line of communication, because if I don't hear from you, then I just kind of assume that you've fallen off the radar, or that you are really like in a good rhythm and you're managing this all on your own. I take a small group every single month, only because I don't want anyone to just kind of fall by the wayside. But I do really want to encourage you guys, reach out as you need. You're going to have questions, and I want to make sure that I can be there to answer them, so you feel successful and you're not sitting there going, well, screw it didn't work. Because not every day is going to be a win and a friendly day for you, and meaning, a weight loss day. But, it could be an amazing, couple weeks for you to experience. But, that's going to be something that you're going to be able to write the book on, and you're going to be able to write the book based on the research that you're going to have written out in your, notebook, your journal, whatever you're using to track everything. Track, right? We're going to talk about that, especially when you start testing new foods and proteins and all this kind of stuff, which you're all going to learn. And she had talked about the plan, and I do have some resources, additional resource, if you're kind of like a little bit of a research nerd like I am. Like, I like to be vested in the process, and then I go learn, like I listen to podcasts and I was reading books, and I really just love information. Like, mind you, that was what my certifications and my schooling was about. But with anything that I'm going to learn and do, like, I like to dive in a little bit more about it. And so I feel like I'm more vested in the process, and then I'm more accountable to it as well. So I've got tools and I've got suggestions if you are a reader or you want some, to go and off on your own and read some books or listen to podcasts. I've got lots of recommendations coming down the line. So if there's no other questions, you guys, I will hop off, because my goal was to keep this short and sweet and make sure that I get the recording out to those that I know were busy working or weren't able to hop on. But I'm here for you guys. I'm so excited, and I can't say it enough, you guys. Please reach out, lean into this community, and really just allow it to be a cooperative place for you as co-owner of this whole process, okay? Because this is very much something that you get to be a part of and take ownership of. All right? You guys are awesome. Anna and Sam, I'm so appreciative of you guys being on today, and I will talk to you guys really, really soon. All right? Okay, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Bye.